Welcome to New West Technologies video training. This is RMS 100 Store Operations Administrator, and we are going to do an overview of the Store Administrator program. As you know, when you install Microsoft Retail Management System Store Operations, you get Store Operations Manager, Store Operations Point of Sale, and the Store Operations Administrator program. If you're wondering exactly what does Store Operations Administrator do, it actually does quite a few things. So let's just go through the program step by step briefly and cover, as I said, an overview of this program. When you first launch it and get into it, you only have a few choices: File Connect or File Configuration. If I go down to File Configuration, this is the basic setup of this computer's store operation. In other words, what server am I connecting to? What is my SA password or password to this server? The login password, database, and my connection timeout. So we have to point this program at the SQL database, and that's what this database setting is for. The register tells the computer what register number it is. Typically in a store environment, you'll have register 1, 2, 3, or point of sale 1, point of sale 2, point of sale 3, and maybe some manager workstations. So we have to keep those registers separate in the database so we know that this computer is pointing to a particular printer that it's using, but register number 2 might be pointing and using a different printer. So this basically ties together with Store Operations Manager when we're setting up the different registers. I then have a bunch of paths. In other words, here is my store logo. If I wanted to, I could browse over to it and I can pick my logo. Now this logo will also print on the receipt. I have a custom HTML status screen that I can set up in the Store Operations Point of Sale program. What is that status screen? So this is where I can browse to that. We also have all the other paths and templates. In other words, I'm going to house my reports locally. You notice that it says C:\program file. So this tells me that all of my reports are local on this computer. Now you do have the option to set this path to like a file server where all the reports are housed in one location. Same thing goes for templates. The EDC tab, that is the Electronic Draft Capture software configuration, where I can go through and basically set up all of my credit card VAR, as it's called, information, so I can process credit cards. By default, RMS comes with Vital or TSYS software already built in, so there's no additional third-party software. But what's kind of neat is RMS can interface with a number of other EDC software packages like PC Charge, IC Verify, and you see them there on your screen. One of the really neat features of RMS is what's called an offline database. So if I have this computer, currently it's pointing local, but if I have it pointed at a main server somewhere running SQL, and let's say I lose connection with that server, the offline database allows me to still continue to run, do sales, take care of customers, and then when the main database gets back online, maybe the computer got unplugged or it lost network connection for some reason, it'll actually sync that offline database with the live database, and I'm not going to lose any of that information. We can put in our path as far as if we have the HQ module. This would basically point to the computer that is running the HQ client software, and then I can check inventory levels at other stores using Store Operations Manager or the Point of Sale program. Now, not too many things are lit up except for connect and configuration. If I connect to my database, I actually have some other options. So let's connect real quick. And now we notice that a couple more things came to life. So I can go to database and everything here is now highlighted. Brief overview of this. I can create a database by going through the creation wizard. I can change the database that I'm currently connected to by going to select. I can change the password that Store Operations Administrator, basically what I connected to. I can back up the database. I can check it or re-index it. Maybe the database is running slow. I can actually delete the database that I am currently connected to. Sometimes when RMS comes out with a new version, I have to upgrade the database, so this feature upgrade will allow me to do that. Way back when, there used to be Quixel 2000. I can actually import a Quixel 2000 database into RMS by using the Import Quixel 2000 wizard. I can set the transaction number. It begins at 1, but if I wanted to, I can have it start at a higher number. I can delete transactions. Maybe we did a bunch of training on a database and I want to wipe it clear so that when I open for live, I start off without all of that training information in there. So deleting transactions will allow me to do that. Collation, by default, it's set to the Latin collation. You should never have to go in and change that unless you happen to live in Canada or some other state and you're installing RMS. Properties will show me the size of the database, how big it's growing. I can also run queries against the database. Now, queries is definitely an advanced feature, and running the incorrect query could cause damage to your database. So you definitely don't want to do that unless you're trained in SQL and running queries. So that's a brief overview of Store Operations Administrator. Make sure you follow this video series. We are actually going to cover in more detail creating a database and restoring a database and a number of different things that Store Operations Administrator